All right, welcome back to the Willow Forms instructional series. Tonight we're going to cover Taeguek Il Jang. Taeguek Il Jang is the first of the Taeguek forms, of which there are 8. If you are learning these forms, you would be testing for green tip in the adult program, and for the kids program, you would be somewhere orangish greenish. So this form has a number of stances called high walking stances. These are present only in the Taegueks, and it is a stance that is about shoulder width and not very deep, probably about your walking gait. So this is about a high walking stance. Okay. So we're going to do this stance quite a bit in this first 3 Taegueks. So we're going to start with Taeguek Il from the back as you would be performing it. 준비. jet. 그녀의 준비. Look to the left. And we're going to do a 90-degree turn to the left into a high walking stance with a low block. Step into a high walking stance, regular punch. 180-degree turn into a high walking stance with a low block. Step forward into a high walking stance, regular punch. 90-degree turn to the left into a deep front stance, reverse punch. Now you're going to pull the right foot up in front back into a high walking stance with a reverse inside maki. Step forward into a high walking stance, reverse punch. 180-degree turn to the left and back into a high walking stance with an inside maki. Step into a high walking stance, reverse punch. Now you're going to step deep into a front stance with a low block, reverse punch. Then you're going to pull the foot up into a high walking stance as you execute a high block, front snap kick, regular punch. Now on this kick, you will have a tendency to want to kick and come down into a front stance, but that's not what you want to do. You want to kick, recoil, and put it down in a high walking stance with a regular punch. Then we're going to do a 180-degree turn to the right into a high walking stance with a high block, front snap kick, high walking stance with a regular punch. Now we turn back to where we came and we bring the left foot in and the left foot out. Now, this is the cheat to get you back to where your mark was. All the Taeguek forms start and end on the same mark. So if you've only got a short distance to cover, you will go into a high walking stance. If you have a longer distance to cover, you'll go into a front stance. I know from past experience that I go into a high walking stance. Then I step into a front stance, regular punch ki. Up. Now I hold for a count of 1, 2. Then I recover back into a 준비. jet. 그녀의. So when my students started when the instructors and students at Willow Martial Arts started reviewing the kichos that we've already done, they noticed that I said hold for a count of 1, 2 because they remember me in class saying hold it for 3 seconds. I'm fine as long as you hold it for 2 to 5 seconds. I do recover on the 3rd second because I count 1, 2, then I go back into 준비 on what would be 3. But 2 to 5 seconds is fine. If it's more than 5 seconds, whether you're doing it in competition or whether you're doing it for demonstration during your testing, the testers or the judges start to think, do they know that the form ends here? Because you're holding it too long, like you're unsure. So you don't want to go past 5 seconds. If you do this punch and you immediately turn like this, particularly with forms competition, that makes the judges think they just couldn't wait for it to be over with, which you don't want to leave that impression with the judges either. So you want to hold it for 1, 2, and then recover. But like I said, if you're 2 to 5 seconds, you're fine. Now, from the side perspective. 준비, 셋, to the left, and I'm gonna do a 90-degree turn into a high walking stance with a low block. Step, regular punch. 180-degree turn to the right with a low block. Step into a high walking stance, regular punch. 90-degree turn to the left into a deep front stance with a low block, reverse punch. Then I'm going to pull the right foot up in front into a high walking stance and execute a reverse inside middle block with the left hand. Then I'm going to step into a high walking stance and execute a reverse punch. 180-degree turn to the left with an inside maki as a reverse technique. Step into a high walking stance, reverse punch. You'll notice all punches are to the middle area by the patch unless I state otherwise. Then you step deep into a front stance with a low block, reverse punch. Then the left foot pulls up in front into a high walking stance as you execute a high block, front snap kick, put it back down in high walking stance, regular punch. 180-degree turn to the right into a high walking stance with a high block. Front snap kick into a high walking stance, regular punch. Then as I turn to go back, the left foot comes in next to the right and then slides out for me into a high walking stance. For you, it might be a front stance. And then for everybody, we slide into a front stance, punch kiai. Hup! You'll notice you end on a regular punch. Jumbi. Chit. Kunie. All right, and now from the front or the judge's perspective. Jumbi. Chit. Kunie. Jumbi. Look to the left, and we're going to do a 90-degree turn to the left in a high walking stance with a low block. Step, regular punch. Remember, these are all high walking stances. 180-degree turn, low block, and a high walking stance. Step, regular punch. Now we're going to go into a front stance. Deep into a front stance with a low block, reverse punch. Reverse punch. Then you're going to pull the right foot up in front in a high walking stance and execute an inside maki, reverse technique. Slide forward into a high walking stance, reverse punch. Then you're going to do a 180-degree turn to the left into a high walking stance with an inside maki, reverse technique. Slide the right foot forward into a high walking stance, reverse punch. Then you're going to step deep again into a front stance with a low block, reverse punch. Pull the left foot up into a high walking stance so it's in front, high block, front snap kick, regular punch. Remember, you come down into a high walking stance. 180-degree turn to the right, high block. And you're going to execute a front snap kick, regular punch. Then the left foot comes in next to the right and slides out into a high walking stance for me, maybe front stance for you, low block. Step into a front stance, punch kiai. Up. Jumbi. Chit. Kunie. Okay, so this is the first Taeguek. Almost all of the punches in the Taeguek forms are middle punches, whether they be reverse or regular. The only exception is on the sides in Taeguek Il Jang, Taeguek 2, which you will see when you watch that video. So I want you to go practice this form, and I'll see you at your next test.